NASCAR Xfinity Series race officially concluded from Talladega Super Speedway, and we see domination from Rich Schultz Racing, and Austin Hill picks up his first ever win at Talladega. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Xfinity Series race from Talladega Super Speedway, the AG Pro 300. We had quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So, before the green flag drop in today's race, Anthony Alfredo, Brennan Poole, and Cesar Baccarello would all have to go to the rear of the field for unapproved adjustments. So, at the start of the race, you had Jesse Love lead the field from the outside with Austin Hill on the inside, and Jesse Love got a fantastic start and was able to clear for the race lead. And from this point forward, Jesse Love would dominate the early portion of this race. Meanwhile, Parker Reslop would come down pit road on lap number 6 with a flat left rear tire, was having tire and brake issues, and this would unfortunately affect his day in a pretty big way. And we started seeing them all run single file on the inside and the outside, and they would string on single file for the next 10 to 15 laps, with eventually Jesse Love continuing to have the race lead. And eventually Jesse Love and Austin Hill once again cleared on lap number 16. He had really good battles going up through the middle of the field. Meanwhile, Nick Sanchez got a really good run on lap number 18 of the event, got a great run on Jesse Love, and was able to get the lead for second, but then eventually Jesse Love got a really good run and was able to take the race lead back. And coming to the final laps of stage number 1, we saw Jeb Burr make some very aggressive big moves and move up to third position, getting by Sheldon Creed for a second, but then Sheldon Creed got right back. And as they came down to the white flag at stage number 1, Austin Hill got a massive run on Jesse Love, I believe, going into turn number 3, but Hill would lose a little bit of ground. Jesse Love was able to clear him off turn number 4, pulled out the pretty big lead, and coming out the final corner, Jesse Love dominates stage 1 and wins stage 1 here at Talladega, followed by Austin Hill, Sheldon Creed, Christian Eckes, and Ryan Sieg. So then, all lead lap cars have then come down pit road, with Jesse Love winning the race off pit road ahead of Christian Eckes, then Nick Sanchez. Jeremy Clements had a bad pit stop as they went under the hood to try to make some fix some of the issues on their car, and Taylor Gray got a penalty for an uncontrolled tire. So then on the restart, you had Jesse Love lead the field from the inside with Nick Sanchez on the outside, and Nick Sanchez got a fantastic restart and got the lead for a second, but eventually the next lap or so, Jesse Love, he got a fantastic run, and he was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, we started seeing some really good racing behind Jesse Love as Sammy Smith was getting some huge runs to the middle and making some big bonsai moves, and he was actually able to get the race lead. And then Jeb Burr, he comes out of nowhere on lap 37, makes a great run on Sammy Smith and Jesse Love on lap 37, and he's able to take the race lead. And then eventually we saw some good racing between Burton and Eckes for the lead up front, with Burton being able to clear, and Jeb Burr would actually lead for the next couple of laps. All of a sudden, though, Austin Hill and Jesse Love were coming right back up to the front as Austin Hill got a really good run going into turn number 1, made a big move to the inside, and was able to take the race lead over Jeb Burton. And Jeb Burton started falling back quite a bit. And then eventually Jesse Love got starting to get a big run on the outside lane, was trying to do everything he could to get up there, and it wouldn't happen up there as Eric Almirola was trying everything he could to get up there into the lead, but it would not happen. And coming off the final corner, Austin Hill continues his domination at super speedways and wins stage number 2 here at Talladega, followed by Jesse Love, Eric Almirola, Nick Sanchez, and Sammy Smith. So then, all lead lap cars have then come down pit road, with Jesse Love winning the race off pit road, followed by Austin Hill and Eric Almirola. And then on the next restart, you had Jesse Love lead the field from the inside, but Eric Almirola on the outside, and Jesse Love got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And for the next 10 or laps or so, they would all end up being single files. Everyone was trying to prepare for Fields to come down pit road and top off on the gas and make sure they had enough gas to make it to the checker flag, because Field was going to be an issue at the end if they didn't come down pit road. And they would all be single file for the next 10 to 15 laps. And then all the leaders started coming down pit road on lap number 69. First, Jesse Love, Austin Hill, Jeb Burton, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Daniel Dye, Josh Williams, Blaine Perkins, Anthony Alfredo. They would all come down pit road. 2 laps later, Matt DiBenedetto, Sammy Smith, Connor Zilish, Carson Quaffle, Justin Allgaier, Patrick Emerling, Leland Honeyman, and Joey Gase, they would all come down pit road. And a couple laps later, Brandon Jones, William Sawalch, Eric Almirola, Taylor Gray, Dean Thompson, Sheldon Creed, Harrison Burns, Sam Mayer, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Ryan Sieg, and all those guys came down the road. They were trying to sell a little bit longer to have a little bit less fuel they had to put into the tank to make sure they could be up front. And then most of the rest leaders then come down pit road with Eric Almirola and Brandon Jones battling for the race lead. Meanwhile, at this time, William Sawacha was having a really good run at Talladega. Unfortunately for him, his engine would start letting go and he would come down pit road and his day would come to an end with an apparent engine issue. Tough break for William Sawacha. I've been a little hard on him because William Sawacha has had a bad stretch of races. This is now the 7th straight race where he has finished outside the top 20 and finished no better than 24th. And it's a shame too because he had done a really good job, gotten stage points in this race today, and today had nothing to show for it. His rookie season from hell continues at this point. Again, I feel for him, but it's just the facts. He just hasn't ran good, unfortunately, this year, and he's got a lot of turning around he needs to do. He'll finish in the end of the field. And then on lap 79, the first big crash of the day would take place going into turn number 1. Jeb Burton would be going between, I believe, Gray Van Alst and Sammy Smith, and going into turn number 1, Jeb Burton would go up the racetrack and get into Sammy Smith, who spin and collect Gray Van Alst, and both would crash really hard on the outside wall, and also Parker Retzlaff, Josh Williams, and Ryan Sieg, who spun into the grass and got a ton of damage on his car. His day would come to an end. This would bring out the caution. Tough break there for some of those guys. Sammy Smith had a really good car, and other drivers like Jeb Burton were doing a really good job. His day would not come to an end. Again, I don't know what Jeb Burton was trying to do. They're a little bit over-aggressive with around 45 to go. I get you're trying to make the move to get up front, but that was a little bit unnecessary from Jeb Burton and took out a couple guys out of contention for being a little bit over-aggressive there. So then we see a little bit of strategy where Sam Mayer, Brennan Poole, Jeremy Clements, Anthony Alfredo, Jesse Wuji, Catherine Legge, Joey Gase, Ryan Ellis, and Mason Maggi would all come down pit road while everyone else would stay out. And then on the restart, you had Sheldon Creed lead the field from the outside with Brandon Jones on the inside. And Brandon Jones got a really big push from Harrison Burton and was able to take the race lead. But then the next lap or so, Sheldon Creed, he got a fantastic run, and he was able to take the race lead from Brandon Jones. And then we started seeing some back and forth between Sheldon Creed and Brandon Jones for the next couple laps as they put on a really good show. But then all of a sudden, Jesse Love, who'd been the dominant car of this race up to this point, he got a really good push from Connor Zilisch up at the front. He was able to take the race lead and started pulling away a little bit and eventually cleared for the lead. But then, Connor Zilisch got a fantastic run to the inside and the outside and was able to make the moves he needed to make, and he was able to take the race lead from Jesse Love and continue having the race lead for the next 10 to 15 laps. And then a few laps later, on lap 96, Austin Hill got a very good run on Connor Zilisch and made a great run to the inside lane and was able to take the race lead from Connor Zilisch. But in the next lap or so, Connor Zilisch got a great run on Austin Hill, and he was able to take the race lead as the RCR cars were starting to struggle. They were not staying together very well, and they were dropping back quite a bit. But then Jesse Love got a really, really great run, and he was able to take the race lead after those couple of laps. And then Austin Hill got the lead in the next lap after some great pushes. Meanwhile, the next big crash of the day, and one of the biggest wrecks of the day, would end up taking place with 14 laps ago when Eric Almirola would make a really bad move going into turn number 2. Eric Almirola tried to come up the racetrack. His spotter had told him he was clear. He was not clear. He go up to the racetrack thinking he was clear and would run right in the front of Catherine Legge, triggering a multi-car wreck that also took out Jeffrey Earnhardt and Brandon Jones. Tough break for Catherine Legge, really. Catherine Legge was having a really good run. She actually had been in the lead pack, minding her own business, doing everything that she needed to do. And because of a driver making a mistake like Eric Almirola, who should know better than to make moves like that, and it seemed like it was mostly on Eric Almirola. The spotter had told him he was clear, but it seems like Almirola had kind of thought the spotter had fully told him he was clear. Almirola just made a really, really aggressive and a really bad move there. I get it's the end of the race, but you don't need to be that aggressive. And it took out Catherine Legge, who didn't deserve that. She'd been doing a really good job today. And Almirola, who I expect better from at this point, just a bad move on his part. Took out some other guys in that situation. Just a tough break all around for those guys. Tough break for all of them involved in that crash. So then, we go back racing with around 7 laps to go for the final restart. You had Austin Hill lead the field from the outside with Connor Zilisch on the inside, and Connor Zilisch got a fantastic restart and got a great run on Austin Hill and was able to clear for the race lead. And Connor Zilisch started going back and forth trying to hang on to the race lead with around 5 laps to go in the event, as his junior motorsports teammates of Justin Allgaier and Carson Quavel were helping him out a lot, and they were pushing him, trying to get up to the race lead. And then coming to a few laps to go, with around 2 laps to go in the race, Connor Zilisch got a really good push and blocked Carson Quavel and Matt DiBenedetto and continued to have the lead as Jesse Love was coming right on the outside with help from Austin Hill. They get a really big push and push up to the lead. And as it came to the white flag of the race, Jeb Burton got a fantastic run on Connor Zilisch going down the front straightaway into turn number 1. He would make the move to the inside, but Connor Zilisch would go up to the outside and was able to clear for the race lead. But then going down the back straightaway, the most controversial incident of the day would end up taking place. Going down the backstretch, Connor Zilisch absolutely has the race lead. He blocks once, and I think he blocks maybe once or twice, but Jesse Love is not even completely clear. He keeps pushing him really hard, and he turns Connor Zilisch hard to the inside wall, bringing out the caution with a very hard hit to the inside. One of the hardest wrecks I think I've seen in the Xfinity Series this year, in an area where I'm not sure if safety barriers are down there at this point. Terrible crash for Connor Zilisch, and we go 3 wide at that point, and they would have to go to the replay between, they had to decide between Austin Hill and Jeb Burton, who have won the race. Originally, to me, it looked like Jeb Burton might have been the winner of the race, but looking at the replay, it is really tough and too close to call. But NASCAR would make the decision and declare, and the winner of the race will be Austin Hill. This is Austin Hill's 3rd win of 2025, I believe his 11th or 12th career NASCAR Xfinity win, and his 9th win on Super Speedways. And finally, his 1st win at Talladega Super Speedway. Austin Hill put himself in a really good position. We'll get to that in a second. But first, looking at the incident, to me, just a little aggressive. I guess the white flag, but he just completely turned him. He wasn't square on the bumper for Jesse Love, and that's a shame because Love had the dominant car, but I think that's just a bad move on Jesse Love's end, considering they have a friendship. I get they were not really working together very well at the end, but to me, that was just really, really bad on Jesse Love's part. I get it's the last lap of the race. You got to do what you got to do to win, and I do think that it is what it is at that point. For the caution itself and throwing it there, most of the time I'd definitely be a little bit frustrated, but I guess NASCAR is being more consistent, at least, with throwing the caution on the white flag like they did at Atlanta, so I guess you could say they're at least being a little consistent. And in this case, I guess you could say they maybe slightly made the right call because of the fact that Connor Zilisch hit the inside wall really hard. I get that they have to, people want to see him race back, but it was a really hard hit, and he had radio back on the radio that basically his back was hurting really, really bad. So I completely understand why NASCAR threw the caution. Do I wish they raced back to the checker flag? 100%, because I definitely want to see a green flag finish, because I think these 3 guys were going to put on a fantastic and really, really good show. But NASCAR sometimes has to make the call. I get it's a controversial call. I guess some fans are going to be upset, and I've been mad at some of the calls they've made, but I guess they're being consistent now. But I'd rather have them race back to the white flag or the checker flag, but I guess they're being consistent in this situation. So because of that, they threw the caution. So now, let's take a look at the race results. So, Austin Hill's the winner of the race. 9th career win on Super Speedways and Xfinity. Congratulations him. A well-earned win for Austin Hill. Was up front all day. Kind of got lucky at the end. But Hill, we all know, is a really good Super Speedway racer. Him winning at Super Speedways is inevitable at this point, but he's never won at Talladega. In fact, has never finished in the top 10 at Talladega before today. Of course, pending post-race inspection. But a fantastic day for Hill to get that his 3rd win of the year. First drive with 3 wins this season. Got a lot of playoff points racked up at this point. Dominates the race. Well, his team dominates the race. He wins. Congratulations to him on picking up the win. Jeb Burton finishes 2nd. Fantastic day for Jeb Burton. I know he was a little bit disappointed with the outcome of the event, and to me it looked really close on whether he had won the race or not. And I know he wanted to get that because had he won today, he would have been able to have wins in 2021, 2023, and 2025. He's won races in the odd years. Just a really good day all around for Burton. And again, I know he's disappointed, upset with the outcome of this event, but still a really good day for Jeb Burton nonetheless. I know he's disappointed with the outcome of the event, but he finishes 2nd. Fantastic day for Jeb Burton. Jesse Love finishes 3rd. Really good day for Jesse Love. In my opinion, I think he had the fastest car in this race. I'm not happy that he turned Connor Zilisch, and he did apologize, and he says he does feel bad for turning Connor on the white flag of the race. He did say that. We'll probably talk about that later this week. But a great day for Jesse Love. Great redemption. He was my pick coming into this race because I thought he was going to get redemption. He nearly got it done today. He finishes 3rd. Justin Allgaier finished 4th. Ran top 5 a lot of this race. Had a really good car. Probably the strongest junior motorsports car in a good portion of this event. Didn't lead many laps today, but still finishes in the top 5. Great run for Justin Allgaier in 4th. Matt DiBenedetto finishes 5th. Fantastic day for Matt DiBenedetto. He legitimately had a really fast and really good car in this race. The best one I think he's had all year so far. He looked legitimately like he had a car that could have won. Came close to getting that first win of the season. First top 5, I believe, of the year for Matt DiBenedetto, so fantastic day for Matty D. He finishes in 5th. Anthony Fredo finishes 6th. Didn't hear much about him most of the day, but he kept his nose clean. Comes home with a very solid top 10. Another good run. I think this is the second spring race in a row he's finishing a top 10. So a fantastic day for Anthony to get a top 10 for the Young's Motorsports team. Also another top 10 for the 42 car with Leland Honeyman. I believe they finished top 5 last year. So really good day for Anthony in 6th. Blaine Perkins finished 7th. Ran near back of the field most of the day, but charged up to the front near the end and put together a fantastic and great day in 7th place. Good run for Blaine Perkins. Harrison Burton finishes 8th. Continues to have a really solid season with this number 25 team. He had a very fast and really good car. Had a car good potential with a top 10 speed. Good day for him, doing much better. Haley Deegan did in this car. Doing a good job. He finishes 8th. Sheldon Creed finished 9th. Solid day for Sheldon Creed. Led some laps, I believe, in this race. Had a top 5, top 10 car most of the day. Comes home with a top 10. Solid run for Sheldon Creed. And Daniel Dye finishes 10th. Quiet day for Daniel Dye. Ran top 20 most of the day and comes home with a top 10. Good run for Daniel Dye. Taylor Gray finished 11th. Not a bad day for him. Patrick Emily finishes 12th. Decent day for Patrick inside the top 15. Lee Honeyman finishes in 13th. Sam Mayer finishes 14th. Nick Sanchez, who had a really strong car most of the day, he drops back into a little bit at the end. He finishes 15th. Ryan Ellis finished 16th. Carson Quall finished 17th. Man, he was in position to win this race. He had a car capable of getting it done. He's still looking for that first career NASCAR Xfinity Series victory, but today was a really good run. Just didn't get the finish that I think he deserved. He finished 17th. A good day, but not the finish that I think he was really looking for. Dean Thompson finishes 18th. Brendan Poole finished 19th. How about Jesse Woogie finishing 20th? I was really worried about Jesse Woogie being out there, but hey, he got a top 20 in his return to NASCAR. So honestly, not that bad, all things considered. He finished 20th. Joey Gase finished 21st. He qualified very well for this race, but he faded back as the day went on. But he does come home with a top 25 in 21st. Mason Maggio finished 22nd. Kyle Seek finished 23rd. Chris Wright finished 24th. Christian Eckes, after having some engine issues, seemed like he finished 25th. Jeremy Clemens finished 26th. He actually does get the fastest lap award, so that's an extra point for the 51 machine. Connor Zilisch finished 27th. I feel terrible for Connor. He was in position to win this race. He was leading on the white flag of the event. Had a fantastic day going. Looked like he might be in position to win or at least get a top 5, but he got turned on the white flag. I know that Jesse probably feels bad for turning him there, but still, terrible for Connor, who was in position to get it done. Tough break for him. He finishes in 27th after having a fantastic day. Brandon Jones finished 28th. Josh Williams finished 29th. Cesar Baccarella finished 30th. Sammy Smith finished 31st. Jeff Earnhardt finished 32nd. Eric Almirola, after crashing out, finished 33rd. Catherine Lake finished 34th. Gray Van Alst finished 35th. Ryan Seek finished 36th. William Walsh finished 37th. And finishing last in 38th place is Parker Retzlaff. So now, let's talk about the overall race as a whole. I'm going to give my score and thoughts on today's race. This race was very, very good in my opinion. I think one of the better Xfinity races that we have seen at Talladega Superspeedway. Sure, this race for a lot of it was dominated by the RCR Duo, especially in stage number 1 and stage number 2. But one thing I noticed even when you look at the Cup Series car compared to this one, you got maneuverability. And people could make moves if they had a fast enough car. And if they wanted to make moves, they could absolutely make those moves to go out there and make them. And that was what made this race really enjoyable. And I think that's what made this race super fun and really great to watch. I think the racing today was exceptional. Stage 3, the racing was incredible. Guys are making 2 wide and 3 wide dive bomb moves to try to get that race lead. And I think that's what really made this race exciting and fun for me. I'm not sure we're going to get that with the Cup race tomorrow because of the fuel saving that's likely going to happen. But I think today's race was really entertaining. I get we had the controversial ending, but even with the controversial ending, I still think this race is really entertaining. My score of today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race is going to be a 9 out of 10. I probably would have given this race probably about a 9.5 had we not had the controversial ending, but I still think today's race was really, really good. My score is going to be a 9 out of 10. So, that is going to be for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race to be from Talladega Superspeedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go and more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate Austin Hill in picking up the win if you want to. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to, of course, have the starting lineup video for the Jack Links 500. We're also going to have the Cup review from the Jack Links 500, and we should have maybe the Shane Van Gisbergen video, but I'm not sure at this point. Then tomorrow, Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video to discuss the news over the course of the last couple of days. We got some thoughts on the super speedway racing from a lot of drivers, and we're also going to talk more about the ending of this race and the contact between Connor Zilisch and Jesse Love. We also got content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Junior Motorsports, Chandler Smith, Kyle Larson, Prime, KSI, Logan Paul, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Cletus McFarlane, all the good stuff we'll be talking about on the channel in the coming days and weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.